Hello and welcome to HT Auto. My name is Sabir Contractor and this is the new Harley-Davidson X440. Well, its claim to fame is that this is the world's most affordable Harley and this is truly the hero of our story today. And I do intend to make that pun because this has been built by Hero MotoCorp. In fact, it's the first motorcycle to come from the Hero-Harley partnership that was announced in 2020. And within 2.5 years, this motorcycle is now ready to hit the streets. Built for India, for the Indian customer, it has a lot of promise indeed. In fact, at a very aggressive price point, this means that it will take on Royal Enfield, Java, Honda Highness, Benelli Imperiale, and even the upcoming Triumph Speed 400. But being the world's most affordable Harley, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Let's find out. Let's start with the design on the X440. It takes inspiration from the yesteryear iconic Harley-Davidson, the XR1200, and this does a very good job of looking like a miniature version of it, a smaller, concise version of it. I like the modern retro appeal on the motorcycle. No chrome, at least on this variant, just a little bit of highlights here and there, and I think that looks very, very nice. I also like the round headlamp with the Harley-Davidson branding inside, the teardrop fuel tank, and the 3D badging that you get on the top variant. The other variants actually do not get that feature. And overall, at least from the front three-quarter, it looks like a fantastic motorcycle in my opinion. What my bigger problem is just how the tail section has been designed. I think it looks more like an afterthought. The boxy panel over here does feel a little out of place. I think for a fantastic front and side, this feels a little more utilitarian. And that's also the problem with the exhaust silencer. I think that feels utilitarian again, very commuterish. Now I understand that that's because Harley wanted to achieve a certain sound on the motorcycle, but then again it could have been designed slightly better for what is supposed to be an aspirational motorcycle. I think that just feels out of place and just looks like an eyesore on what is otherwise a nice motorcycle.
The X440 is long and has a very likable road presence. The motorcycle gets an 18-inch front wheel and 17-inch rear wheel setup, with the base variant getting spoked wheels that do look more classic. The top variant gets a machined finish on the alloy wheels and the engine.
The other big concern that I do have with the X440 is the overall build quality. Of course, this is a very aggressively priced motorcycle, but even then I do think the build quality could have been much better. Now this is in case of the machined parts. Even the gaps in the fuel tank lid, exposed wires here and there, certain welding points, all of these just go on to show that this is a build to cost motorcycle, and that's something that does not sit right with the premium positioning of the Harley brand. Now the rider ergonomics on the X440 is supposed to be on the comfort side. Unlike the big cruisers from Harley-Davidson, this is supposed to be more commuter friendly, more city oriented, and you do see that in how the rider sits. It's nice and upright, wide handlebar, a nice commanding position, and center set foot pegs, so very easy to operate. I think it's also a lot more comfortable, a lot more inviting for the rider, and nice to lock your legs on the fuel tank and actually go aggressively on the motorcycle. Quite likable like that, quite comfortable as well. Even the cushioning of the seat is nice, but I would like to see how it performs on long tours, on long rides, and just to understand if it's meant to do that as well.
All three variants get Bluetooth connectivity as standard that brings turn-by-turn navigation, call and SMS alerts, as well as music control. The top spec S variant though gets the Connect 2.0 telematics option that brings more connectivity features via an eSIM. This includes geofencing, theft alert, immobilizer, SOS, and more.
When it comes to performance, well, the X440 gets a 440cc newly developed single-cylinder engine. It's air and oil cooled. Of course, it meets the OBD2 and the E20 standards, and that means that this is ready for future norms. Now, this makes about 27 brake horsepower at 6000 RPM, 38 Newton meters at 4000 RPM. This is a torqueous motorcycle in its class, and it shows The low and mid-range is absolutely fantastic. I think that's where most of the riders will be spending time, especially in the city. And well, you get a lot of power there. It's extremely aggressive, nice and peppy, and especially in higher gears, you do feel that there's ample of power all throughout the rev range. We've been testing it out today at Hero's test track here in Jaipur, and on the performance track at high speeds, we've been doing some very good numbers. Of course, this is not meant for high speed performance, so a lot of power is concentrated at the low and mid range. You get up to 100 kilometers per hour very easily. You can stay there very easily, and it pulls cleanly up to 130 kilometers per hour without a fuss. But again, after 120, that's where you see the power fading off, and the sweet spot on this engine is between 110 to 115 kilometers per hour. It does a fantastic job staying there at high speeds. You get about 6 gears. You can stay aggressively in the first 4 gears. The 6 is easily very good when you're out touring on the highway, and I do think that a lot of people will like how the engine performs. Very tractable, very sublime in how it performs, and just a very likable engine right from the start. But the big revelation is just how well it handles out on the track. I think today's handling session was one of the most impressive parts about the X440. Very nimble, very surprising like that. About 190 kilograms is the weight, and the weight distribution is just fantastic. It attacks corners, it's very predictable, just how you would want it to be. 43 mm KYB front forks, preload adjustable twin gas charged shocks, and they do a fine job when it comes to the handling of the motorcycle. You get a trellis frame underneath, and well, the overall weight distribution, the overall weight handles, the feeling is just fantastic. Very impressive. I think that's what a lot of people will like out the motorcycle. In fact, today we've been having a lot of fun with it, and to give you proof, we've had these scraped foot pegs that should tell you how aggressively we were going on a motorcycle. Out on the real world though, what I would like to see is the ride quality from this setup. Now, of course, on a test track like this one, it feels sublime because we are on flat surfaces, but in the real world, I would like to see how the ride quality on the motorcycle is. I would also like to see the ground clearance and how much of it is actually useful. Now, the ground clearance is about 170 millimeters, but given that we've been scraping it all day long, doing some really nice handling, I would like to see how that performs out in the real world as well. Well, to conclude this review, I have to say that Harley's first attempt at the mass market space in India is a very promising one. I do think the aggressive pricing starts at 2,21,000, goes up to 2,61,000 rupees. Ex-showroom is just aggressive. Royal Enfield, yes, they all have to really pull up their socks to beat that, because the brand value here is very strong. I do think a lot of things could have been done better, build quality being for one. But the engine and the handling definitely compensates for it. And of course, you get a very nice package, especially when you consider the Bluetooth connectivity features and the turn-by-turn navigation on all variants. And when you factor in all of that, it does come across as a very well thought out package. For somebody who's really looking to buy their first big bike and wants a brand, I think the Harley-Davidson X440 makes a very compelling case. So yes, it now boils down to distribution and sales that Hero is now handling. So about 100 more dealerships will be coming in very soon. And that will really decide how well this motorcycle does, because I do think the promise is immense. Having said that, what's a Harley without its very notable exhaust note? So I'm not sure what to think of it. I'm going to rev it up for you, and you tell me, how do you think the exhaust note is on the X440?
The new X440 is built like a Harley and priced like a Hero. And so, being the world's most affordable Harley is not a bad thing at all.
Well, that was our review of the Harley-Davidson X440. What do you think about it? What do you think of the motorcycle? Drop in your comments and let us know. What more would you like to see about the motorcycle? Let us know, and we will try and bring that to you on the website and on the channel, of course. And if you like this video, please go ahead and like and share and subscribe. Follow our social media for more such content. And like we always say, helmets on a two-wheeler, seat belts in the car. My name is Samir Contractor. This is HT Auto. Thank you so much for watching.